I'm now joined by the head of communications, communication manager from East Africa, Janet Kimboy. You're so beautiful.
Thank you.
So we take a look at what Uber and IEBC is going to get up to. First and foremost, I think what I'd like to know is where this initiative was inspired from. I mean, when did Uber decide, okay, we want to get onto this electoral, train and see how to give a service to people who actually need it?
Okay, so I think first of all, I'll start by saying what we've done here in Kenya is actually not unique to Uber globally. Very recently, during the elections in the UK, we did do a similar promotion where we actually in the UK, we have a product called Uber Access that services the disabled. And we did have the same promotion where we had free Uber rides for the disabled. We've also done it in South Africa. When we had elections there, municipal elections, and we did give a certain percentage off to all riders as well. So this is not something that's just unique to Kenya. It's actually something that Uber has done in the past in other countries. And when the time came here for Kenya, we said, why not? We want to be a part of it.
That's great. Yes. So you're giving percentage off of full free rides to disabled people who want to go to the polling stations.
So what we've done here in Kenya is that, of course, in partnership with IEBC and the United Disabled Persons of Kenya, because that's how we're working with them as well, in alliance with them, because they're affiliated with IEBC. What we're doing is that we're giving 2 free rides, 2 free Uber rides, so that's to and from the polling stations for all the disabled in Nairobi. And Nairobi, of course, is also the greater Nairobi area that, involves Thika, Ngatarongai and the peri-urban areas where Uber operates, and Mombasa.
Wow.
Yes.
That's great. And first of all, what's it been like, for Uber right now during the election period? There's a narrative that a lot of people are moving out of Nairobi. And just within your system, have you noticed a drop in some of the movements within Nairobi? And has that been able to, have you been able to gauge what the response to this service you're providing is going to be like come August 8th?
So I think what we've seen, actually, we've not really seen like a drastic change in numbers or anything, if that's what we're going to say. I do think that, of course, a lot of people will be traveling out. But I think that, of course, with what IEBC has done, it's made it very possible for a lot of people to be able to vote within Nairobi or within Mombasa. So on our end, we haven't seen any drastic shifts in numbers as well. And I do think that once the day comes, on the D-Day, that we will be able to see a lot of riders, of course, who will take advantage of the 200 shillings off that we're also giving to all new and existing riders on the day off. So we're very keen to see that and how that's going to be picked up.
And I think up until now, especially with this new provision that you're going to have, how would you gauge the general response in Kenya to Uber? Uber has become synonymous with taxi. They even call Taxify Uber. Little taxi Uber. I want Uber, Uber, Uber. So I think personally we see a great response, but you being within the company itself, how would you say it's been like, especially let's say here in Nairobi?
Yeah. So, first off, I'd like to say we're really, really grateful to be in this market. And in this market, I mean, of course, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, because we are in Kampala, we are in Dar es Salaam, and here in Nairobi and in Mombasa. The uptake has been amazing. We've gotten a lot of support, from riders, and of course also from the drivers who are very happy to partner with us. And so for us, it's really just been amazing to see the pickup, especially here in Nairobi, where it's just people love to Uber, they love to use Uber, and it's an amazing time for us to be here, and we're definitely looking forward to the future. Yes.
Definitely, and I think moving forward from August 8th, I think, what's Uber foreshadowing out of the elections and what you're going to do in partnership with IEBC after August 8th?
I think for us, of course, our main objective is to offer safe and reliable transportation for everyone. And that's really is at the core of what Uber's mission is. We want to make sure that transportation is reliable
Yes.
and is accessible to everyone. And that means it doesn't matter your skin color, your race, where you're from, and that's the reason why actually even if you look at the app, there is no kind of discrimination.
None.
You don't know who's coming to pick you up. They don't know how you look like. You just push the button and you get a ride.
Yeah.
So I think for us, even post the elections, we want to continue to be committed to offer this reliable transportation to all Kenyans. And of course, we are very excited and happy to be a part of this process. And of course, of moving Kenyans. And of course, as we continue even with the elections, we want to be able to offer that service. So we're just, I would say we're just genuinely excited,
Yes,
and we look forward to continue to be offering that
Exactly.
service. Yes.
And maybe just to throw it out there, with the service that you're going to be providing during the election, do you think maybe it's going to open up maybe a different customer client demographic for Uber? Because okay, we can say that Uber reaches across the social sphere, but then again, they're Uber loyals. Uber is almost specific to one class, to which I don't want to be the one who says it. But do you feel like maybe it's going to open up a different narrative with Uber to a different side of the Kenyan society?
Okay, so I think I would say we do see ourselves as a service that's open to everyone.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever see ourselves as, hey, we're only targeting or we're only servicing, a certain demographic of people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty simple. All you need is a phone number, all you need is a phone, and all you need is to download the app. So I think, of course, with the partnership with the United Disabled Persons of Kenya, and of course with IEBC. Of course, now we're going to be servicing the disabled on that day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're looking forward to see how that would go, and, is there a possibility of us doing something with that group? I mean, we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
For us, as it is right now, we were just trying to provide transportation and, of course, make it easier for riders to access the ballot. So bringing the ballot closer to everyone,
Yeah.
including the marginalized groups. But I don't see us as a service that's just for a specific class or a specific group of people. And we just hope to be of service on voting day
And let's talk
and
about,
beyond.
And let's talk about like that service. I can imagine, or in my humble estimation, that an operation like this will take increased capacity. What are some of the things that you guys are doing within Uber to ensure that you're properly able to expedite this service, at such a scale in Nairobi?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, actually. We're really doing a lot at the moment. And as it is, we have actually partnered with hundreds of partners and drivers to ensure that we're going to have wheelchair accessible cars on that day. Okay. So we are, of course, doing our part and our bit. We're also doing some trainings for those drivers who are going to also be dealing with the disabled on that day. And actually, we're doing that in conjunction with UDPK.
Yeah.
We have one of the disabled persons who's going to also come and help us in that training. So we're doing as much as we can to ensure that we are ready for the D-Day, for voting day.
That sounds really great. I'm super inspired by your initiative, and I think the heart of where it's coming from is what touches, and which will touch most of us. So let's now take a look at Uber and what it's been like in Kenya briefly. You came into the market, there was a bit of resistance, but it's sort of settled down, and now you've borderline dominated, like taken over the entire sector. What's that been like? The challenges and the prosperity, and the bumps on the road and the highs and the low.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really been, I would say, a very interesting journey for us. I think, of course, we always like to say that our eyes were finally opened when we decided to launch in Nairobi because we just saw so much support from everyone, really. I do think that earlier on last year, we did see a bit of some taxi intimidation. Yeah. There were riots here and there, some taxi drivers who went out and attacked some of the Uber drivers. That was a key challenge then, and we were very happy that the government came in and was there. Riders actually also came in and supported us at that time. And I think, since then we've not not encountered any of that.
Wow.
With taxi. And for us, I think how we see it, it's not Uber versus taxi. It's actually Uber and taxi.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to just come in into the app and be able to earn a living, or they can be able to do that. It's really flexible. It's all about you logging in and going online, and when you don't want to do that, you can go offline.
Yeah.
So we've always been open, and we've had a lot of taxi who've actually joined Uber since then, and of course we've seen how that has really helped us to grow, and
Exactly.
we're in partnership with many taxi and some people who actually not even taxi. Recently I was in an Uber, and I was being driven by a woman who had been a stay-home mom for 4 years.
No way.
Yes, and she got tired of being at home, and she decided I want to drive Uber. So she took her kids to school, and she got on, and that's what she's doing right now. And she's found a very a sense of, a purpose of something to do
Exactly.
outside of what she was doing. She had been a businesswoman, and she still continues to be a businesswoman as she's doing other things on the side. But, so such things. So we've been able to create economic opportunities for thousands of driver partners. Of course, also we have a local team who are working in Mombasa and in Nairobi to service the drivers.
Yeah.
People such as myself and the rest of the team who, of course, have also been able to get an opportunity to work. So it's really been great in that regard. Of course, we do continue to see other challenges. I mean, congestion, traffic, those are some, yes, those of course are some of those challenges that we do see, and I think that's normal. I think, of course, the beginning of this year, we did have a bit of a driver strike, but once,
It's hiccups.
yeah, it's hiccups. Those are some of the things that come with being here, and I think it was really good to see how drivers and riders were actually quite supportive at that time, and it's really been amazing being here.
I mean, it's great, and it's so unfortunate. I wish I had so much more time with you, Janet. But I love that we see Uber beyond just what Uber is, the app on our phone. We see, I think, the community cohesion level of Uber, and the unity, and it almost sounds like a family. I hear you talking about the drivers and the riders, and I'm like, oh man, I want to be part of that. Anyway, but thank you so much for coming to studio,
It's
Janet.
really been a pleasure. It's really been a pleasure.
And I really look forward to seeing, and maybe actually seeing what you guys are going to do on August 8th. I may just Uber, because Uber is Bay.
Oh, come on, Uber, of course.
Uber is Bay. Especially like weekend Bay.
Yes.
Anyway, so that effectively brings us to the end of Business Insight.